Okay, let's connect with Rakesh Sharma, Managing Director and CEO with IDBI Bank. Mr. Sharma, the bank continues to report losses for yet another quarter. Net interest income and operating profits continue to remain under pressure. When should we expect the bank will return to profits?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Nikunj. We have to see this profitability in the background that the NPA are around 31%, and because this 31% of my advances are not generating any income, so that is why these losses are continuing. But one thing you will appreciate that there was operating profit of 725 crores, and the net interest income during the quarter has shown growth. 3% growth has been shown. Now, basically the way forward which we have to see is that recover these NPAs, so that the funds can be profitably utilized, and to the maximum extent provide for this, so that in future whenever recovery is made, so we will not be required to make any additional provision, and that provision should be sufficient. So with that, I hope after this September quarter we should be in profit.
On the NCLT front, since you've had large exposure to some of the NCLT cases, when do we see recovery start kicking in at your level?
Like total we have outstanding of 24,000 crore in NCLT 1 and 2 list. But if you see the overall total NCLT cases which have been filed either by the unsecured creditors or other banks or our bank, the total accounts are 308, and the outstanding which is covered is 35,000 crores. Now, in these accounts, some of the accounts you have already seen some recovery is happening, and some of the accounts are at very advanced stage, and we expect a recovery in the current quarter also. Now, this if you see the previous quarter, our recovery was 3,440 crore, which covers some of the NCLT accounts also. Now, the current quarter we are expecting recovery of almost 4,500 crore in both NCLT and non-NCLT cases. So, IBC is a good act. In fact, lot of good developments are happening, but due to some initial issues, some delay is happening. But I am quite hopeful that in next year we will be able to affect recovery of almost 10,000 to 12,000 crore in NCLT and some non-NCLT cases. So that will help us in not only reducing our gross and net NPAs, but also improving our profitability.
Also wanted to understand, now that LIC is the majority holder in IDBI Bank, what are the changes that one can expect in the management structure from here onwards?
Now, first of all, the first change which is quite visible, that the LIC has infused capital of 21,426 crore, which has helped us in complying with the capital adequacy ratio criteria, and today on this front we stand complied with. So that is one issue. But this is basically you will see this is an alliance between two good brands. One is very established brand, IDBI Bank is also a good brand, and LIC is also excellent brand. So lot of synergies are there. First, I will like to mention about that. Lot of synergies can be worked out, which will help IDBI Bank to improve its income. And these synergies are by way of cross-selling of LIC products, by handling the cash management products of LIC, then handling the LIC employees and agents, who are 11 lakh agents and 1 lakh employees, their accounts. So that is on the part of synergy. So that will help us in improving the CASA ratio and the income of IDBI Bank. Now, additional 5 board directors we are planning to induct. So 2 will be from LIC and 3 independent directors. Already the board is good. So with that, the corporate governance with 15 boards member will be there. So corporate governance will improve. So that is one change at the board level. And of course, at management level also, that LIC, because they are the promoters and Government of India are the co-promoter. So they will decide. Presently the existing management is continuing, and we are continuing with the, will continue with the best practices to turn around this bank.
Mr. Sharma, good morning. When can we expect the bank to come out of PCA?
Yeah, PCA basically, as you know, there are 4 parameters are there. One is capital adequacy, already we stand complied with. Then leveraging, that is also complied with. Now remaining 2 parameters are there. One is profitability and second is net NPA. Now the present NPA, if you see, one, the recoveries were good during this quarter, and second, we have been able to control the slippages. Q2, if you see, that was one of the lowest slippages during the previous quarter. Then Q4 is further lower. So that way slippages are under control, and the recoveries, now if you see the net NPA, which was 17.4%, has declined to 14%. So my target is that net NPA we should be able to reduce below 12% by March 2019. So that will help us to move from threshold 3 to threshold 2. So similarly, by June quarter, we should be able to reduce the net NPA below 9. So that will help us in further improving from threshold 2 to 1. And by September, I hope we will be below 6%. So that will help us in coming out of the PCA. And profitability part, one, if you see my provision coverage ratio has improved substantially. It is now 75%, and gradually going forward we will further improve it. My target is to improve it further to 80 to 85%. So once all the NPAs are adequately provided for, and that will not have further negative impact on the profits. So I am sure by after September quarter will come in profit. So that way after September I am sure we will come out of PCA fully. That one.
Okay, there are 2 parts to IDBI Bank. One, what has gone wrong, how are you trying to fix it? That's what you've alluded to very, very clearly and very, very nicely. But bank is also in the business of lending and participating in the new credit cycle. Do you have the bandwidth, balance sheet, even desire to participate in the new credit cycle?
Now this basically, as you rightly said, some things have gone wrong, some due to maybe internal reasons, some due to external reasons. So, and we were mainly in corporate advances. 3 years back, if you saw, our corporate portfolio was 80%, and which had a setback. So that's why the bank had a setback also. Now going forward, one is the wherewithal, whether we have the capacity to grow. Now the LIC is the promoter, government is the co-promoter. So that way the capital should not be a problem, number one. Number two, going forward, once we come out of PCA and start doing our normal business, we should be able to raise capital from the market also, and it can be raised in the form of either tier 1 bonds or through QIP. So that way capital should not be a problem. Now is basically how to develop this bank and transform this bank, that is more important. So for that we have taken certain measures. One is of course that LIC synergies, so that additional business CASA deposits and retail advances scope, a lot of scope will be there. So that will help us in improving our CASA business and retail business also. Number second, as the IDBI Bank in the past also had one of the best practices in retail, good retail portfolio there, and although like there are restrictions from RBI, but still we are growing at 10% in retail portfolio. Now we have good good outbound sales team. Our staff is young, the average age 36 years. So we can, our focus will be now on retail, so that we can build up good portfolio. And once we are out of PCA, of course selectively we can do corporate credit also. Then HR we are doing, we have introduced new system for performance evaluation, which is very objective system, IPACE. So each and every employee will be judged on the performance which is given by him, so be him or her. So that way once this performance evaluation system is introduced, so that will help us in fixing whether we can give some performance linked incentive and motivate the staff, and the promotions will be linked to that. And then credit policies and our risk management policies also we are reviewing. So on this way we are, I think within next 1 year, during the time when we are out of PCA, when capital is taken care of and our internal systems are strengthened, and we are ready for building of good retail portfolio, I am quite hopeful that it will be one of the good banks with retail focus.
We leave it at that. I wish you the very best for the future. Thanks very much for joining us and giving us those details on IDBI Bank's earnings.
Thank you very much.